Coventry lead Plymouth by a goal to nil in the Championship, and it's Middlesbrough 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 as well in that division. Traore trying to bulldoze his way through, was caught by Cucurella inside the centre circle. Free kick for Fulham, 7 gone here, 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport 2 live from Stamford Bridge, which 15 minutes before kick-off was half empty, and there's barely a seat free now. Incredible how quickly these grounds fill up. Here's Iwobi. Looking to link up with Robinson down the left again. Robinson trapped by Pedro Neto. There was a tangle of legs. Fulham wanted a free kick. Referee Sam Barrett says play on. It's cleared upfield, but they can't keep it for very long, Chelsea. Here's Iwobi again. Left corner of the penalty area, looking for Robinson. He just overcooked the pass. He's quick, Robinson, but he's not Usain Bolt. And it's going to be a goal kick for Chelsea.
But look, it's another good possession by Fulham. He's picked the right ball, but just overhit it there. Well, he'd have to be perfectly weighted, and he's got the pace to be able to get onto it. It wasn't. But I think the first challenge, I think, for Robinson on the left-hand side is, can he take Neto back onto the edge of his own penalty area, Chelsea's penalty area? And he's been able to do that already. Neto's made 2 or 3 interventions on the edge of his own penalty area. Robinson will be more than happy if it's in that area, because he's a real threat if he ends up on the edge of your penalty area, Neto.
That's the voice of Albert Martin, former West Ham and England defender, part of our team here in West London this afternoon. Only a mile and a half between Craven Cottage and Stamford Bridge. Certainly no love lost between the two sets of fans either, but it's those travelling Fulham supporters in the shed end away to our left who I think will be most satisfied with the way this game has started. 8 minutes played, it's still goalless, but Fulham have enjoyed the lion's share of possession, and Chelsea yet to get going as a forward force so far. Here's Robinson again. He can't quite keep the ball in play. They're trying to get it out to that left-hand side every time. Sasa Lukic just overhit the pass on this occasion, and Chelsea have a throw midway inside their own half of the field. Chelsea unbeaten in 9 in the Premier League. They've only lost 1 of their last 16, Alvin.
Yeah. Look, they're a side that know how to see the way and navigate through a game, but he'd be a little bit frustrated there. Robinson, we mentioned him more than 170. He's been heavily involved in the game up to this stage, but the 2 balls that he's made good runs for have just been overhit by his teammates. It's frustrating, because if they hadn't been, he'd have been in a really good position on both times, on the edge and inside maybe the edge of the penalty area of Chelsea.
It's already shaping up to be a key battered ground, isn't it, over on that far left-hand side as we look high up in the gods here at the bridge. Robinson against Neto and Malo Gusto as well. Down the Chelsea right, they're attacking down their left at the moment. Cucurella into Sancho. Sancho with a little chip cross towards the far post. Oh, Robinson nearly missed it. I think he just got caught underneath the ball. He maybe did just enough to stop it reaching Pedro Neto, and Leno gratefully collects. First real moment of danger for the visitors. 0-0.
First time we've seen Sancho as well. I was just about to say that himself and Jackson have hardly had a touch of the ball, but when he got that ball left-hand side from Cucurella, he just drove, didn't he, at the defence of Fulham, and a really good quality ball he put in there.
League One leaders are in front on this Boxing Day. Stevenage 0, Wycombe 1. Richard Kono with a goal there as Traore races over halfway for Fulham and then plays it out to his left-hand side, and Iwobi forced to exit the penalty box by the pass, but he gets a low cross into the area. Iwobi blocked by Tosin and then smashed upfield by Gusto. Anywhere will do for Chelsea in these first 10 minutes.
I'll tell you what, Alex, they had the ball on the edge of their own penalty area, Fulham, and then they broke so quickly in the pace of Iwobi. And Traore running with the ball was fantastic.
Nicholas Jackson doggedly and determinedly winning it back for Chelsea. Showed too much of it as Basu slides in, and the loose ball falls kindly for Iwobi. Robinson with a cross, Jimenez waits in the centre. It's a teasing delivery, and it was watched all the way and taken cleanly in the air by Sanchez.
Tell you, Alex, this is a quality game. I knew it was going to be entertaining, but this is like watching a Champions League standard game.
Palmer out to Sancho on the left-hand side. 11 minutes have absolutely flown by. 0-0. Palmer inside the penalty area, looks to pick out Jackson in the centre, and his cross is straight into the arms of Leno.
Well, they wouldn't have needed to be told, Chelsea, this is going to be a tough game, and whenever they turn over the ball, Fulham are more than capable of really using that power and pace on the counter.
Portsmouth have been in a decent run of form to get themselves out of the relegation place in the Championship. They lead again at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Portsmouth 1. Zach Swanson up from the back has scored it, and Adrian Durham making his way from Manchester City to Liverpool for the 8 o'clock kick-off on TalkSport later. He won't be happy. Peterborough 2-0 down at home to Mansfield. Only 10 minutes gone there. Here's Enzo Fernandez. 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. You're listening to TalkSport 2 on this busy Boxing Day. As Moises Caicedo tries to float the ball out to Sancho on this near side. Cleared by Castagna. And then Cucurella was just too strong for Adama Traore. Gets it back from Caicedo. The two ex-Brighton teammates combining for Chelsea. Here's Gusto over the halfway line, wearing a pair of bright orange boots, the right back. And then Diop, who's had an excellent season for Fulham at the heart of their defence, clears it towards halfway, but Chelsea have it back. Caicedo picks out the run of Sancho on the left-hand side again. Sancho up against Castagna. Looks like he's going to get away from the Belgium. Shifts the ball from right to left and then finds Palmer inside the area. Palmer pirouetting away from his marker. They've got 5 blue shirts in the centre, but Palmer comes out of the penalty area and into Caicedo in midfield. Now Gusto. Fulham well drilled here, making it difficult for Chelsea to find too much space to work with. Pedro Neto with a low cross, cleared by Anderson, and it's still 0-0.
The two wide players of Chelsea can be frightening when they're on form, can't they? You know, you got Neto on that right-hand side, and you know, look, when they get the ball, you know, Sancho as well, they just drive, and you know, you've got to be able to deal with that. You know, I think, you know, you can come with a game plan, but when people are just going to drive at you, it's 1 versus 1, and you know, you're at the mercy of how good they're going to be on any given day. And I've got to say, Sancho, whenever he moves the ball now, he's got a movement over the top of the ball that is absolutely fantastic, and he's also got the delivery as well.
Swansea lead Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship 1-0. Liam Cullen with the goal there as Chelsea give it away on the edge of the area. You heard the groans from the home supporters. Lukic out to Robinson, level with the left corner of the box. His pass into the area, looking for Jimenez, intercepted by Tosin, and now Chelsea might be able to counter. Fernandez chips it forward, looking for Neto. Jackson, well, I thought he was just too strong for Joachim Andersen, but it was right in front of the assistant referee on that far side, and he says free kick to Fulham.
Yeah, I think he got it right, Alex. I think he got it right. It was a long ball, and I think he was going to clear it. We just got nudged at the vital moments. And look, they know they're in the game. The Chelsea players know it, and so do the Chelsea fans as well, because this is a Fulham side who certainly matched everything that Chelsea have done up to now.
Iwobi into Robinson, in behind Neto, up against Tosin. Robinson just on the edge of the area. Looks for Iwobi. Iwobi smuggles the ball through for Jimenez, who shoots right-footed, and it's straight into the arms of Sanchez.
Desire, which you know, they're playing with a lot of confidence, Fuller, but whenever they get the ball forward, you know, they've committed players forward as well. You got Robinson, who's more or less playing as a left winger on that left-hand side. Jimenez has just had a shot, and, you know, did really well to make it, but Iwobi now is a talisman for them, isn't he? He's at the thick of everything that they do.
Blackburn lead 1-0 against Sunderland in the Championship. Yuki Ahashi, Blackburn having a really good season under John Eustace. They're in front at Ewood Park, still goalless here in West London. Fulham have a wretched record in this fixture. They've won only 2 of the previous 34 meetings with their near neighbours, but they've had a good start to this game. Here's Gusto, though, looking to pass it through for Fernandez inside the area. Blocked away. Gusto has it back on that far right touchline. And he looks for Pedro Neto. Everybody bar Tosin and the Chelsea goalkeeper Sanchez inside the Fulham half to our left. Palmer skips away from a couple of challenges, shoots left-footed into the bottom corner. Ice cold Cole Palmer opens the scoring for Chelsea. Continues his stellar season. It's come against the run of play. The footwork to make the space for the shot was exceptional, and when he needed a finish, he found one, firing beyond Leno into the bottom corner. It is Chelsea 1, Fulham 0.
That, my friends, is an example of pure class. Genius. And he made it look so easy. He got a ball, in between the two lines. He got himself turned, he faced up, he measured the shot with his left foot, and then just dispatched it with ease past the keeper. Pure, unadulterated class. It was fantastic.
It's his 12th goal of the season. Well, they were in a little bit of trouble, Chelsea. Fulham had started a better, but when you needed a man for the big occasion on Derby Day in West London, Cole Palmer delivers again. It's his 51st Premier League appearance. It's his 34th goal in those 51 Premier League games for Chelsea. Fulham will be kicking themselves, but Albin's absolutely right. It was just individual brilliance that has proved their undoing. Not just the nifty footwork in the lead-up, but the finish, the calmness of the finish, just to almost guide the ball into that bottom corner beyond Leno, and Chelsea in front with 17 minutes played here.
You know, we spoke about it before the game, Alex. You know, Fulham have made great strides, but you know, in the games that you feel that, you know, top sides need to win, like Chelsea, you're just reliant on an individual doing something absolutely brilliant, and it turns, you know, an average performance sometimes into a winning performance. And I don't know if they're going to win this game, but certainly that's a great example of one individual just having more quality than any one of the opposition. And it's ironic, isn't it, that Manchester City on this miserable run are struggling for a little bit of that kind of magic. It's their former player Cole Palmer who delivers once again for Chelsea. 1-0 they lead, and Fulham, having made such a vibrant start, are going to have to regain their composure. But Leno played his teammate into trouble there. It's a free kick for Fulham. Cole Palmer adjudged to have shoved one of the Fulham defenders to the ground. It was Lukic, I think, back defending. It wasn't great from Leno, was it, Alvin, playing out from the back? Well, this is one of the real discussion points about modern day football. You know, when is it right to play, when is it wrong to play? Look, he's got his team playing superbly, Marco Silva, but that was a really tight decision by the goalkeeper. You're reliant on every individual making the right decision, and he made the wrong one there. You know, he played a really tight ball when he didn't have to, and what he did, he put his teammate in real trouble. Chelsea a goal to the good Cole Palmer with the opener. Here's Pedro Neto down the Chelsea right hand side, 7 or 8 yards inside their own half. They're going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper Sanchez. And Sanchez plays a good looking ball out for this near side. Sancho heads to keep it in play, and then Fernandez looking to put Lukic under pressure. He's done that, and he's found Pedro Neto. Neto into the penalty area, cut it back for Palmer, could have shot himself 1-2 with Jackson, and then he does steer it goalwards. In the end it lacked power. It's a comfortable save for Leno, but how nonchalant was that between the two, Palmer and Jackson? I think it's an example of a player just being in the zone, in a zone that every player wants to be. But with the ability he's got, I mean, he just played a 1-yard pass, wall pass off Jackson, and tried to pass it into the goal. It's a neat little layoff from Iwobi at the other end, though. Jimenez into the penalty area, right-footed shot, drags it wide. He's got to do better with that, Alex. That's a great bit of play by Fulham. They've forced a real opportunity down this right-hand side. He's now got the goal at his mercy. Look, it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I think you've got to hit the target there. He's tried to pick out the bottom left-hand corner, he's pulled it wide of the target. You're listening to Chelsea against Fulham on TalkSport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on Now. Search Now Sports. 1-0 to Chelsea, 21 minutes played. I was right though, wasn't I, Alex? We've seen an entertaining game. I was right for once. Fantastic so far. Absolutely, and Fulham have played their part in that, but Cole Palmer lighting up Stamford Bridge on this dank and dreary Boxing Day afternoon with a wonderful solo goal. Chelsea, by the way, 16 points behind the leaders at this stage last season. As it stands, they're only a point back on Liverpool. The other fascinating thing to point out there is that they've got the lowest points total at this stage of a season from a team going into second place on Boxing Day
in 14 years. And I think that probably just sums up the competitive nature of the top half of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think there's a, you know, it's like a concertina now. You know, teams that you thought you could take points off playing in third gear, they aren't around anymore.
Sancho goes long, looking for Cucurella, who made a darting run upfield. Headed away by Timothy Castagna. Throw in taken quickly by Sancho. He finds Palmer, and now Caicedo out to Malo Gusto on the right hand side. They're all of a sudden passing it around neatly here. Chelsea. Palmer again with the nifty footwork, shoots left footed from the edge of the area, and this time Leno gets down to save to his right hand side. It's mesmeric at times from Cole Palmer.
That's ridiculous. You know what he's just done there. He's received the ball with players all around him, and he knows instinctively where they all are. He's got eyes in the back of his head. He nutmegs somebody in the penalty area and then tries to guide it as he did there so successfully to make it 1-0, but possibly didn't get the real purchase on the ball. But he's just playing in a place that, you know, he feels anything's possible.
Josh Eccles has made it Coventry 2, Plymouth 0. Problems for Wayne Rooney against his England teammate Frank Lampard. And down in League 2 it's Salford 1, Barrow 0. Luke Garbutt with the goal there. Here's Iwobi, midway inside the Chelsea half. Only Jimenez really ahead of him, so he plays it at his right, and Pereira urged to shoot by the Fulham fans. He responds to those calls, and then he launches it right-footed over the crossbar to about row 15 of the Matthew Harding away to our right. 1-0 Chelsea.
Well, we had, you know, 22 minutes gone. They're 1-0 down Fulham, but they played some really good stuff. They've fought some good openings, and you know, that's a really good opportunity to at least wake the keeper there, Alex. You know, as soon as it left his foot, it's going high over the target of the bar, and he should do a lot better than that. But you know, they do really need to make the most of some of these opportunities. They're 1-0 down. You know, and they've played some really good stuff. They've done everything right, apart from be at the mercy of one individual, you know, on the field. There is Palmer. You know, apart from that, you know, I think you'd be happy with everything you've seen so far, Silver.
They're unbeaten in 5 Premier League games coming into this one. Fulham not gone 6 unbeaten in the top division since 2010. They have probably drawn too many for Marco Silva's liking of late, particularly that 0-0 at home to Southampton when they were expected to win. But they're trailing here. Cole Palmer with the moment of individual magic. Tosin forward to Palmer. Now Sancho with the opportunity to run at Castagna. Gets into the penalty area, looks to cut it back for Nicholas Jackson. Important touch in there from Sasa Lukic, and Leno gathers inside the box. It stays 1-0 to Chelsea, just past the midway point of the first half here on TalkSport 2.
You know, I think one of the most difficult things to do in modern day football is to receive the ball just outside the opposition's, you know, maybe 10 yards outside the opposition's penalty area, in that the little space between the midfield and the back line. And he does it all the time, Palmer. You know, you've got to be really good to be able to not lose the ball there. He's just so confident. He gets himself turned. He knows when to turn on it, when to play it back the way it come. And he's done it like 3 or 4 times. One of them has led to a goal. And if he keeps getting it in them positions, don't back against him getting another.
Here's Cucurella, the mop-haired Chelsea left-back, into Levi Colwill. Colwill looking to dink it forward for the run of Nicholas Jackson. Well read by Diop, and then helped on by Pereira. Diop has it, and he's going to sensibly just knock the ball back to the feet of Leno inside the Fulham penalty area. 1-0 Chelsea lead. We've played 25 minutes here on TalkSport 2. Still goalless between Forest and Spurs over on TalkSport. And 2 more commentaries still to come on TalkSport when we're finished here. Wolves against Manchester United at 5:30. Kick-off at 8 o'clock. It'll be Liverpool against Leicester. Now Ruud van Nistelrooy, former Manchester United player, would love to come out on top there, and all of the 3 o'clock kickoffs are available this afternoon, either here on TalkSport 2 over on TalkSport or on the TalkSport app. Powerful burst forward from Bassi. Rode a challenge from Fernandez, and he's run with the ball into the penalty area. This is brilliant from Bassi, and saved at the near post by Sanchez. Oh, what a goal that would have been. Never mind Bassi, that was Beckenbauer.
That was incredible. I mean, he just kept going and going. He went past one, he went past another. He ran from the halfway line with the ball at his feet, ends up having a shot at the end of it, and it's a really good save at the end of the day.
Tell you what, you're right, this is a brilliant spectacle. Here's Palmer, the goal scorer for Chelsea, on halfway. Cucurella made a run ahead of the ball, but he just lays it off short to Fernandez. Fernandez picking out the run of Palmer, and then Palmer, I think he was trying to... Was he trying to chip the goalkeeper?
I don't know what
or was he trying to find Sanchez? Either way, it's a goal kick.
Whatever he was trying, he got it wrong. He's not that good anyway, is he? No, again though, he gets himself turned in between those two lines in a really congested part of the pitch, and he was trying to just dink it over the last defender, and he got it wrong.
Later score in League One, Wrexham 1, Blackpool 1. They were behind Wrexham, but Paul Mullin has just equalised in that game. And here at Stamford Bridge, 27 minutes on the clock. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Chelsea with the best goals per game record at this stage of a season in their history, and that says quite a lot, doesn't it, when you look at the success they've had down the years. Traore has won a free kick on the halfway line. I think Colwell just leant in there, and Traore almost went over the top of him. A bit cynical from the England international. An opportunity for Fulham to try and punt the ball towards the penalty area. Bolton lead against Barnsley in League One. Clyde Lolos has opened the scoring there. In fact, rather than getting the ball forward quickly, Fulham play the free kick short. Not won here, Albion, for 45 years, Fulham. And they're losing here by a Cole Palmer goal to 0.
Well, playing well and winning are two different things. They're certainly playing well, but have they got the ability to turn the possession and some of the good football into goals?
Leno, closed down by Nicholas Jackson, plays the ball out to Diop on the edge of the area, then Jimenez dropping very deep, the former Wolves man. Producer Sal is punching the air because Birmingham have taken the lead against Burton Albion in League One, 1-0 from the penalty spot, that goal. Comes to something, doesn't it, with the most expensive team in the division punching the air because they lead against Burton. Goals as they go in here on TalkSport 2 this afternoon. Only one goal at Stamford Bridge, but it was an absolute corker from Cole Palmer. Brilliant footwork in the build-up, and then a really good low finish beyond Leno. Traore running into a bit of a cul-de-sac, and Levi Colwell content to let the ball trickle out for a throw just inside the Chelsea half. In fact, he shouldn't have done, because the assistant decides the last touch was off a Chelsea player, and it's going to be a Fulham ball.
I think the important thing for Fulham is they've conceded after starting the game so brightly, and after that they've solidified, haven't they? They haven't blinked. They've continued to believe in what they're trying to do. They've got themselves into good positions and are still very much in the game. Jay
Stansfield, by the way, penalty scorer for Birmingham. Swansea 2 up now against QPR. Cullen has got his second of the afternoon, as Malo Gusto was barged over inside the box by Robinson. The referee didn't in the end have a decision to make because the ball has gone behind for a goal kick that Robert Sanchez will take anyway. 29 played. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. And surprise, surprise, Tottenham are losing again. Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0 over on TalkSport. Anthony Elanga has put Forest in front. That for me was the biggest banker of the day. Early days.
Well, so I think again it's a Forest side that are playing so well, but sometimes I think defensively this season Spurs have been better away from home. The crazy thing is sometimes it's hard to fathom it out, but certainly at this moment in time, Forest are a team that I think similar to Fulham and similar to Chelsea, are full of confidence.
I wonder if VAR might take a look at that. Gibbs right with the through ball. Elanga may just have struggled to stay onside. We'll keep you updated on that. Fleetwood Town sacked Charlie Adam recently. They lead Chesterfield by a goal to 0 in League 2. Matty Virtue has broken the deadlock there. Here at Stamford Bridge, it's still Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Chelsea in possession with Gusto down their right-hand side. And the goal stands. The VAR did check it at the City ground that decided Elanga had timed his random affection, so it's Forest 1, Tottenham 0. Forest looking to cement their place in the top 4. Chelsea looking to go within a point of Liverpool, remember. If they win here, Liverpool in action at home to Leicester at 8 o'clock tonight, live on TalkSport. Reading 2-0 up at home to Northampton as Fulham again give the ball away cheaply inside their own half, and then Nicholas Jackson bundled over by Joachim Andersen, and this is a free kick. Albion in prime Cole Palmer range, dead centre, what, 10 yards outside the box?
Well, I don't think anyone else is going to be allowed to get near this. He picked the ball up straight away, Palmer, didn't he? He's going to place it down, and as you said, you know, it's a left or right footer, but Palmer will fancy this, either corner he can go for.
Pray for Adrian Durham, Peterborough 0, Mansfield 3. Middlesbrough ahead in the Championship by the same scoreline at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Here at the bridge, Cole Palmer is sizing up the opportunity to double his and Chelsea's tally. It's a clumsy free kick conceded by Anderson after Fulham had played their way into trouble initially.
I think it was him who gave the ball away as well, so I think he was just a little bit nervous and trying to rectify the problem. He may have compounded it, because this is an area you do not want to give one away.
Huge opportunity for Cole Palmer at least to test the reactions of Bert Leno. He's been beaten once already by the England man. Enzo Fernandez standing over the ball as well, but I think Alvin is spot on. I'm not sure anybody else in blue is going to get a look in. For a long time, Chelsea to size up their options from this dead ball. Finally, referee Sam Barrett blows his whistle. I think Tosin had come forward to try and tell Cucurella and Jackson on the edge of the area where to stand. It's Cucurella and Caicedo actually. Palmer with a free kick, left footed. After all that, straight into the wall. Here's Gusto on the right hand side. Chelsea a goal to the good at Stamford Bridge. You're listening to TalkSport 2 on this busy Boxing Day. Gusto's given it away, and then Iwobi plays it against the Chelsea man. It's out for a Fulham throw. Currently Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage right now. You can back Chelsea at 2 to 9 on, Fulham 11 to 1 to come from behind and win. The draw is 24 to 5. That's all thanks to William Hill, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Not for the first time, Traore penalised for a foul on Caicedo on this occasion. Free kick for Chelsea, just inside their own half of the field.
Really pacey game, isn't it? A real tempo to it. You know, both teams are really going for it. You know, and you know, you've got the ball yourself. If you lose the ball, the other team go on the attack, and you've got to get back in. So, you know, real energy about the game.
Turning into a great afternoon for Swansea. They lead Queen's Park Rangers by 3 goals to 0. Salford at 2-0 up now as well in League 2. Another free kick given away by Fulham, just outside the area. Nicholas Jackson wanted to take it quickly. Referee Sam Barrett says the ball was rolling and he wanted to produce the first yellow card of the afternoon for Sasa Lukic. That isn't a massive shock. It's his 7th booking in his last 10 Premier League appearances. And once again, Cole Palmer might fancy a shot here, or is Fernandez going to pull round Calvin?
Yeah, I think it's you know, probably a little out of range. A little out of range. I think he might allow Fernandez to take this. He's still in the vicinity though. But they're starting to foul Jackson a little bit more. He's getting more service into him, the front man now. It shows you that they're starting to dominate to a larger degree, Chelsea.
It's not going Villa's way. Up in the north-east, a goal down, and now a man down as well. John Duran sent off for the visitors. Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0. Same scoreline here at Stamford Bridge. We have 10 minutes of the first half to play. Palmer and Fernandez stand over the dead ball in front of the travelling Fulham fans. Looks like they are going to play it into the area because Tosin, Colwill, Cucurella have all come forward. Nicholas Jackson at the moment is stood in an offside position. He'll come back onside when the ball is taken. Fernandez to Cucurella, brilliant training ground free kick, header from point blank range, somehow is kept out by Leno. Really well worked. Just wonder if Cucurella could have done better with the initial header.
I think he should have. I think, you know, a point blank header like that, it's not just enough to get something on it, because you've got a free header, you've got to pick a corner out, and he didn't do that. He gave the keeper a chance. Made a good save, don't get me wrong, but he shouldn't have had the opportunity to make the save.
Well, that looked like a handball by Diop on the edge of the area. Play continues because Sancho had possession, couldn't find Nicholas Jackson ahead of him, and Bassi plays the ball out to Robinson. Neat little dink forward to Iwobi, who's in behind Gusto. Gusto back in possession now. Iwobi with a chance maybe to cross. Instead he finds Lukic on the edge of the area, into Pereira. Neat move this by Fulham. The return pass was slightly overhit, and despite sliding and stretching every sinew, he can't keep it in place. Sasa Lukic, Chelsea have a goal kick, and what looked a promising Fulham attack ultimately fizzles out. They trail 1-0.
Yeah, 35 minutes gone, and it's been a wonderful game to watch. Really good, entertaining. We've seen a spectacular goal by Palmer. But you know, I think the Chelsea fans, the Chelsea players and management will know that maybe one goal isn't going to be enough here, because I think we've seen enough from Fulham to lead us to believe that they're definitely capable of scoring a goal, certainly creating a goal.
Bromley lead Newport County by 2-0 in League Two. Here at Stamford Bridge, Cole Palmer's goal at the moment is separating the two West London rivals. Fulham actually unbeaten in their last 9 London derbies, but they're going to have to come from behind to preserve that record here on TalkSport 2. And Iwobi has given it away cheaply, and here's Palmer. They're going to slide it forward to Sancho on the edge of the area, well read by Diop, and Fulham will look to counter with Robinson. I think Jimenez was caught off the ball by Tosin, but referee Barrett tries to play on. Here's Lukic, just inside the Chelsea half, forward to Pereira. Castagna's made a good run to his right, and Sancho having a backtrack now. And the feet of Pereira, the ex-Manchester United man, and now Diop, 10 yards over the halfway line, is allowed by Chelsea under no real pressure just to roll the ball under his studs. But that was good defensive work to stop the counter-attack. Jadon Sancho certainly sticking gamely to the task, having given the ball away on the edge of the box. Iwobi has played it into no man's land, and Caicedo forward to Jackson, and he's been clobbered by Joachim Andersen. That will be a definite yellow card. It's all of a sudden got a bit sloppy from the visitors, Alvin.
Yeah, I think, look, Silva wants his team to play a certain way. He wants it to be expansive. He wants them to play tight football, intricate football. And every now and again, you do get 1 or 2 passes wrong. And if you get them wrong in the wrong area, it puts you, in a difficult position. That's what they did there. They were trying to play. You can understand it's got them into really good positions up to this point. But you know, when you do get one slightly off, and you give the opposition a chance of cutting it out, you're susceptible to counter, and that's exactly what happened there.
2 Fulham bookings. Chelsea leading by 1-0. We've got less than 7 minutes of regulation time in this first half to play. There won't be too much added on, I don't think. It's had a really good flow to it. Gusto from the free kick, dinks it to the far post. Colwill was up. It's Castagna who heads it back towards his own goal, and it's well taken on the edge of the 6-yard box by Leno, and he bowls it out quickly to Jimenez. Down the line for the Quicksilver, Adama Traore. He's got Caicedo for company. Traore goes on his outside, tries to cross, blocked by Caicedo, and Fulham have their first corner of the game.
Well, certainly with the pace they've got on this right-hand side, Traore, it will be on the left-hand side. They've got the pace to counter, and he did well there, Caicedo, because you know, as a midfielder, he's covering his back line really, and one-on-one with Traore. Not many people have fancied that, but he did really well.
The John Duran red card, by the way, was for violent conduct following a VAR review. Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0. You can hear that game on the TalkSport app. Fulham have a corner on this near right-hand side. Andreas Pereira is going to take it. So it's going to be a right-footed outswinger. Good delivery, headed on by Jimenez, but hit Gusto, and he clears it away and says to Pedro Neto, "On your bike, son." Neto stopped in his tracks by Robinson, who's equally quick. It'll be a throw-in now for Fulham just inside Chelsea territory. Can the Cottagers get back on level terms and cancel out this 1-0 deficit before half-time? Certainly Marco Silva, the longest-serving Fulham manager since Chris Coleman, will have seen enough, I think, Alvin, from his team in this first half to suggest the game is far from over.
Absolutely. I think he'll be delighted. You know, look, they're 1-0 down, but I think he'll feel that they've played some really good football here this afternoon. I think it's been concise. It's been, you know, a high-tempo game. Possibly would have felt that maybe Jimenez should have done better, you know, on a real good chance that he had. But look, I think the response they're going to go down has been excellent, you know, from a morale point of view.
Not a good day at all for Wayne Rooney. Coventry 3, Plymouth 0 now. From Mason Clark, the latest Sky Blues goal scorer. Coventry were hammered 4-1 at Pompey last time out. Looking to bounce back from that defeat. Norwich have doubled their lead against Millwall in the Championship as well. And here at Stamford Bridge with little over 4 minutes of the first half to play. It's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Live from the West London derby. Cole Palmer tried a little fancy bit of footwork to get away from Diop, but he read it well, the Fulham centre-back. And here's Robinson. Knocks the ball away from Malagusto. Good race for pace that, and he gets a lovely cross into the area. Headed away by Cucurella. Robinson nods it back into a dangerous area inside the 6-yard box. It's cleared again to this right-hand side, and then finally Palmer stabs it away. Good spell this from Fulham. Ruled on by the travelling hordes away to our left. Pereira jinking away from Sancho, and then playing it out to Castagna on the right. Jimenez wanted the early ball, but he's the only Fulham player anywhere near the 18-yard box at the moment. Anderson into the feet of Iwobi. Calvin Bassey, who had that lung-busting burst from the halfway line, got a shot away. Has played it forward again. He's got it back inside the box. Bassey from Iwobi. Didn't look particularly comfortable. Robinson, left corner of the area. Back to Sasa Lukic with his right wrist heavily strapped. Iwobi forward to Robinson. Lovely play this from Fulham, and the cross in the end is too close to Sanchez, and he takes it easily inside the box.
It's a really high standard game of football this from both sides.
It's a lovely ball, right on cue from Caicedo, out to Neto. Neto into the penalty area. He's got Palmer and Jackson waiting for it. The pass was neither into the feet of Jackson nor Palmer. In fact, it was behind the Chelsea goal scorer Palmer, and Fulham can counter again. 2.5 minutes till half time. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Here's Traore. Barges his way away from Colwell and from Cucurella, and then lays the ball off to Pereira. Back to Diop on halfway. Enzo Maresca with that big papa jacket that's still out on the edge of his technical area, the Chelsea manager. The ball is scooped forward to Nicholas Jackson. He tried to take it on the chest on the edge of the penalty area, but Diop sharply across wins it back for Fulham.
Tell you what, the next goal in the game is really important, isn't it? Because they're looking, you know, they're unfazed, and they are going to create chances. They've had some wonderful football they played in and around the edge of Chelsea's penalty box, Fulham. But you know, you always feel that on the counter as well. Jackson, he brings that one down, which was really difficult. If he gets a second, have they got 2 goals in him, Fulham? And you have to doubt that. Big diagonal ball forward to Adama Traore for Fulham inside the area. Couldn't pick out Jimenez, and Cucurella comes scampering forward for Chelsea as the Championship leaders Sheffield United trail by 1-0 at home to Burnley. Also in that division, Oxford 1, Cardiff 0, and Stevenage 0, Wycombe 2 now. Wycombe going great guns in League One. Here's Lukic for Fulham. Last minute of the opening 45. Iwobi trying to play it through the legs of Caicedo, was alert to that, and then Gusto can find Jackson on the halfway line. He's a little bit isolated though, the Chelsea striker, and does well in the end just to win a throw, Alvin. Yeah, it does. You know, it's a clever play that, you know, an important phase of the game. I can't imagine there's going to be too much in terms of extra time played. We're on 44 minutes now, but you know, he just kept possession for his team there at a crucial time, because they were building up a head of steam for them. Just one added minute actually, and we're 30 seconds away from entering that. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport 2. 1-0 Forest lead Spurs over on TalkSport as Pedro Neto comes sauntering forward for Chelsea into Jackson, who was out-muscled on the edge of the penalty area by Pereira, and then it's not a great clearance away by Joachim Anderson. Caicedo looking for Sancho, cleared by Castagna, only as far as Mark Cucurella, and then Tosin plays the ball forward a few yards to Fernandes, and he picks out Sanchez, the orange-shirted, very bright orange-shirted wearing Robert Sanchez. Long ball upfield from him, headed by Castagna back to his keeper, Bernd Leno, and that may be it in terms of Chelsea attacks in what's been a really enterprising first half from both teams actually. Fulham started brightly, fell behind against the run of play. Cole Palmer with his moment of magic, could have equalised,
with what would have been a brilliant individual goal by Bassi. And they're coming forward here with Robinson. Robinson with a volley cross into the area, cleared by Tosin, but it will be a Fulham throw. And this will be the last action of the first half. Robinson with the delivery from the left, headed clear by Colwill. And then Cole Palmer majestically plucks the ball from the air under pressure from Pereira. But he always carries himself, Palmer, as if he has all the time in the world. Cucurella forward to Nicholas Jackson. Fernandez has made a late dart towards the area, and he's been picked out, and he's played it forward to Palmer, and that's a brilliant sliding tackle from Bassi to deny Palmer a shot at goal at the end of what was a quite majestic move, Alvin, to bring the first half to a close.
Well, wonderful. I mean, it was great defensive work that to stop some really subtle attacking play by Chelsea right at the end of that first half. And look, it was just one moment of brilliance really that separated both of these teams. Chelsea had more possession, but I'll tell you what, Fulham have given them a few problems going forward, especially down that left-hand side. Robinson's been outstanding for them. Really great first 45 minutes.
Well, he's the cover star on the programme, Cole Palmer. He's been the Chelsea poster boy all season long, and it's his goal, his brilliant goal, that divides these two West London neighbours. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0.
Thank you very much, Alex Crook, with Alvin Martin alongside him. Alvin, we talked before about Calvin Bassi. We talked about his physicality, his strength. We didn't talk about his silky footwork. That was a pretty good chance from the centre-back there.
Yeah, look, if he had been able to stick that in the back of the net, it would have been one of the goals of the season. No doubt about it. It would have run. I think it epitomises really what they're all about, Fulham. They're playing with a lot of verve, confidence, fluidity, and togetherness. The movement within the team is brilliant. I think it's been a first half that is to and fro. You've got to say that Chelsea have had the better of it in terms of superiority in possession. But you know what? Whenever they turn the ball over, Fulham go at them. And they've got a lot of pace, certainly down the left-hand side. I think they've been great. Robinson has really played in advanced areas. They've been able to get him a lot of the ball. And when he does get it, we talked about his quality before the game. He hasn't disappointed. He's whipped a lot of good quality balls in there. It's just getting somebody on the end of some of that, that delivery that they've lacked. But really, the first 45 has been so entertaining. I said that, a couple of times there, John, that I feel like this standard of football is likened to the Champions League. We're seeing a really high quality game.
Yeah, a fantastic spectacle for everyone going on Boxing Day. I imagine there'll be a lot of young fans maybe getting their first opportunity to go on Boxing Day with Premier League tickets so hard to get. A lot of people I know have sort of taken their kids along when people have given up season tickets because they're away seeing family. So, I mean, what a great first game for a young person to see at Stamford Bridge this afternoon. And also, if that's their first Premier League goal they've seen, a great goal from Cole Palmer.
Well, yeah, we talked about it before the game. When you are a team like Fulham, you've got a coach that's got a compact team that's playing really good football, getting into good situations. But when you get into the good situations, can you then make it tell? Can you stick the ball in the back of the net? With either your delivery or an individual brilliance, and that's something that maybe they just lack a little bit, Fulham. I think if you want an example of that, it's Palmer. I mean, what he did was all about the individual. They got the ball to him. He turns, 30 yards outside the goal. He then travels and then he just passed it into the net. It was just, it's hard to explain how easy he made it look, John.
Well, he fed it through the eye of a needle, which was Calvin Bassi's legs, I think, as well on the way. And I mean, to do that without scoring at the end of it was impressive, but it's the ease at which he does things, isn't it? I know he's a very leggy player, you see him, but he's not out of control with those legs. I mean, he's very precise with his footwork, and that's what gets him in those positions with the space he makes.
He shows you where he wants the ball to be played to him, and once it's played in with the right weight, he makes a decision. As it's on his way to him, do I have to stop it? Can I let it run? He had to stop this one. He got himself turned, but once he then turns, he's got a radar in his head that just says, right, okay, these are my options and this is the one I'm going to take. And they're usually the right decisions, very quickly made. And then can you execute it? Can you actually then, put the ball exactly where you want it? And he did that as well. And look, there's been one or two other moments where he's really been so close to threading the ball through. And at the end, a little 1-2 he played off Jackson. And then right at the end of the half, a little moment where you think, he's so unlucky not to have got the edge on that. And if he had, he would have made it 2-0. It would have been deserved, because I don't think Fulham do deserve to be 2-0 down. No, but, you wouldn't put it past him in the second half. to add another little bit of class that maybe puts the finishing touch to a real team performance here.
You wouldn't at all, but I think it's good. It sets it up nicely for the second half with Chelsea only 1-0 up against Fulham. They have had their chances, but as you say, Fulham have been very much in it. Second half commentary coming up in under 10 minutes time here on TalkSport 2. And next up, we will preview the game that follows that as we head to the Championship. We'll look at Derby County versus a team that have had a very tumultuous Christmas with the loss of their manager, West Bromwich Albion.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
Sack the gaffer. You need thesun.co.uk. Bagged a big move? Check out thesun.co.uk.
Oh, come on, Ralph!
Never a pen? Read thesun.co.uk. Seen red? See thesun.co.uk. Whatever's going on in the game, whenever you want it, wherever you are, from goals to gossip and everything football, it's got to be thesun.co.uk.
We all fantasize about our perfect home, sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The Screwfix sale is now on and it's huge! Save a huge £30 on the DeWalt 18-volt inflator cordless, now just $19.99. And grab the aluminium 6-step platform ladder for only $59.99. Saving you a huge 10%. Sale ends 5th of January. It's huge. Delivery fees may apply. Subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
You could skydive out of a plane. Or swim with sharks. You might even skinny dip in icy cold waters. Or you could get that inexpressible high, that guaranteed rush from finding just the thing you wanted, the thing you needed, at a great sale price. IKEA Winter Sale now on. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
You don't just check into a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play. Psst, did you know you can order McDelivery deals? Like the Feed the Family deal for just $14.99. That's 4 selected burgers, 2 medium fries and 2 small fries. Who's in then?
Oh, yeah, me.
And me.
McDelivery. You in? Delivery only from 11 a.m. 4 times selected burgers, 4 times selected fries. Subject to availability. Price, delivery fee and participation may vary.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stelling. We have a massive Friday night of live and exclusive football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Can you believe it?
Jack Frost will be nipping at your toes as we bring you a Premier League double from 7:30. Arsenal take on Ipswich live on TalkSport.
He's done it again.
While Brighton face Brentford at 8:15 live on TalkSport 2.
Chance to drive it home, deflected it in!
It's another full-on Friday night of planet-sized Premier League football, part of the festive 50 on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's goal time.
Oh, and he's found the net.
Game day.
Live football coverage that's beyond compare.
Game day exclusive. Boxing Day special on TalkSport 2.
Mauer to get into the near post, clicked on and flicked in this time, and West Bromwich Albion take the lead.
There's a lot of things I like about Boxing Day, obviously. Most people turn up with a new scarf or hat or jacket.
Header! Goal! Terrific header! And it's Curtis Nelson who announces himself and Derby County back in the Championship.
There's a real energy within a crowd Boxing Day because they've been sitting with their in-laws and think, oh, I'll just get to the game tomorrow and I'll start singing Derby songs. So that's amazing.
Carlan Grant, 30 yards out, tries to drive and scores a beauty. What a hit from Carlan Grant.
Always going to be a top 8 team, I think, and have been very difficult to beat. So look, they haven't probably won as many games as they would want. No one wants to draw that many games, but they haven't lost.
And put in by Adams for 3. What a start this is for Derby County.
I've never ever had a late kickoff, I don't think. That is pretty unique. So that's going to mess up my whole cold turkey mustard sandwiches at night. I don't know how I'm going to get around that.
And it's time to ask if the late kickoff has messed up Ian Danter's afternoon as we cross live to Derby County now. Dance, have you had a good Christmas? All been going well?
Thank you, John. Yes, I've had a nice, peaceful, quiet, fun Christmas. It's been lovely, lovely, lovely. But, you know, the reality of being in this game for a quarter of a century means you know what's coming just around the corner.
Of course,
so,
I'm sure you're in good
check,
spirits, though. I've just seen Birmingham City 1-0 up at half-time, so everything's
well,
good.
we bought the league again. We bought the league again, John. You know, but, you know, Jay Stansfield shouldn't be allowed to just score penalties. Every goal from Jay Stansfield's got to be, you know, weaving through 25 players like Cole Palmer's clearly done from Alex's commentary in the first half and putting it in the top corner. That's the only way we can win the league without being criticised.
Of course. Well, look,
apparently.
I'm going to completely stay out of this. My team's winning, your team's winning. Life is good at the moment. West Brom obviously taking on Derby County at Pride Park, 5:30 p.m. this afternoon. And obviously the big news going into this game is that West Brom sort of, I say quietly announced. Obviously, when your manager leaves on Christmas Eve, it's not really a quiet announcement, but they couldn't really announce that on Christmas Day that Carlos Corberan's left, could they?
I guess not, but then if the deal was done Christmas Eve, then why, you know, wait 24 hours and, you know, put out bad news on a slow news day sort of thing, or, you know, it's just the way things have gone. But then if you're Carlos Corberan and you're offered the chance to go back to your home country, you know, near to where you grew up, your first game's at home to Real Madrid, and you have the chance to turn an ailing club around with Champions League heritage in the not too distant past, you're not going to bat it away, are you?
No,
and you know, he's worked at West Bromwich Albion under restrictions, maybe not quite as many in recent times since the takeover of the club, but nevertheless, you know, his hands have been tied to a certain extent. He's worked with a wafer-thin squad at West Brom and worked really well. He's got them on the fringes of the playoffs, as you can see. So it's that footballing rarity, John. You've got a job vacancy now where the incoming manager has got a really nice base from which to work.
Well, we've seen what Steve Cooper can do from last in the Championship with Nottingham Forest, so he's available. We've got Russell Martin available as well, that's done, you know, wonders getting Southampton up. Where do you think they're going to look? Is it going to be those obvious choices, or...?
Mark Robbins has got to be looked at. You've got the club of... If they don't talk to Mark Robbins, then I don't understand why they wouldn't want to speak to someone with such vast Championship experience who's only just worked down the road and may still geographically be a good fit for the club. There's also a strong rumour going around that Johnny Heitinger's been linked, who's coaching at Liverpool at the moment under Arne Slot. But I don't know whether that's mischief making. It's come a bit out of left field. But certainly Steve Cooper, another great manager who's done well at the Championship, as you know, getting Nottingham Forest up through the playoffs. Russell Martin, again, exactly the same route, done with Southampton. So yes, there's positives to those three English managers' names that you've mentioned. Heitinger's a bit of an unknown quantity, but clearly working with Arne Slot must have its positive benefits for you if you're part of that coaching setup. But yeah, West Bromwich Albion's a terrific club to take over, and given that they're only just on the fringes of things, and January just around the corner, they've got to be careful financially so as not to invoke any PSR regulations and fall foul of any of that. But there are goal scorers at West Bromwich Albion, and there are match winners at West Bromwich Albion. And Mikey Johnston, who has had a quiet season, suddenly burst into life last time out against Bristol City, so maybe that's a sign of things to come.
Well, look, we will talk more about this game a little bit before 5:30, the kick-off in the Championship. The first of two live games in the Championship, Derby County versus West Bromwich Albion. Ian Danter will be on commentary alongside Neil Redfern, the former Leeds manager. But for now, we've got the second half coming up of Chelsea versus Fulham, and this is how the first half sounded.
Palmer skips away from a couple of challenges, shoots left-footed into the bottom corner. Ice cold Cole Palmer.
That, my friends, is an example of pure class. Genius.
Jimenez into the penalty area, right-footed shot, drags it wide. Powerful burst forward from Bassi. Rode a challenge from Fernandez, and he's run with the ball into the penalty area. This is brilliant from Bassi, and saved at the near post by Sanchez. Fernandez to Cucurella. Brilliant training ground free kick. Header from point-blank range somehow is kept out by Leno.
So yeah, 1-0 going into the second half. Chelsea versus Fulham at Stamford Bridge. The other scores at half-time. It's goalless between Bournemouth and Palace. Newcastle United are 1-0 up against 10-man Aston Villa. John Duran was given a straight red card for an incident with Fabian Schär. Looked like a stamp, I guess it would have been classed as. Some contentious decisions going around, I'm sure, today, and I'm not sure about that one. Where do you put your foot when you're falling like he was? At the City Ground, Nottingham Forest are 1-0 up against Spurs, and it's currently goalless between Southampton and West Ham. Alvin Martin, are you happy with that at half-time at Southampton as a West Ham legend?
Well, I'm happy not to get beat at the moment. If I'm West Ham.
That'll do, right?
It's all about, look, it's about the 90 minutes, isn't it?
Of course it is, of course it is. When you look at this game in the second half, do you think Enzo Maresca's going to be a little bit disappointed that Chelsea are not further ahead? They've had their opportunities.
Yeah, I thought Cucurella really, he's got to do better with the header. But look, I think he'll know that this is a good Fulham side. Give a good account of themselves. I just said to Alex, I think Fulham couldn't have played any better, I don't think. I think they played 100% to their capacity there. Chelsea, maybe 90, so there's another 10%. But it goes back to what we said before. Have they got the ability to have the finishing ability to make some of this football turn it into goals? I still think there's a little bit more for Chelsea. They've got individuals out there. We haven't really seen a lot of Jackson. Sancho has got the ability to turn the game. I just feel that match winners are all still there. Fernandes, Neto. And obviously the main man Palmer, has he got another moment of magic in him? He's got to make them favourites in the second half. But if they can replicate what they did in the first half, Fulham, and match Chelsea more or less in every position, they've got to come up with an individual that is going to stick the ball in the back of the net. And have they got that capability? I'm not sure, John, not sure. But I'll tell you what we have seen, a really good first 45, and I'm expecting the same in the second.
Well, we'll find out very shortly as second half coverage begins with Alvin Martin alongside Alex Crook.
And we are back underway here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea leading Fulham by that Cole Palmer goal to nil. In 50 Premier League starts, he's now had 52 goal involvements, 34 he scored himself, 18 he's made for others. Only Erling Haaland and Andy Cole were involved in more in their first 50 starts in the Premier League. Chelsea coming forward with Nicholas Jackson early in this second half. He was offside anyway as he nods it wide. Chelsea shooting from left to right in blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks. Fulham attacking the shed end away to our left. That's where the travelling Fulham fans are. They're in white shirts, black shorts and black socks. No change in personnel, so Chelsea continue with Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Tosin, Colwill and Cucurella the back four, Caicedo and Fernandes in midfield, Pedro Neto, Palmer the goal scorer, and Sancho behind Jackson up front for Fulham. It's Leno in goal, Bassi, Anderson and Diop the back three, Robinson the left wing back, Castagna the right, Lukic and Pereira in midfield with Iwobi and Traore either side of Jimenez up front. It's Chelsea in possession with Tosin, who's going to get plenty of jeers from those travelling Fulham fans. He played 132 games for the Cottagers before making the short journey across West London. Here's Malo Gusto. Back to Tosin. You've been in that situation, Alvin? Have you ever been booed by any of your former clubs?
I didn't have any former clubs. I was always at the same club, but no, I don't think it's going to bother anyone. Not at this level. I think sometimes as well, I think it's a form of respect.
Yeah.
Alex, believe it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Former West Ham and England defender Alvin Martin alongside me here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea in possession with their goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. He's one of two Chelsea players, by the way, along with Nicholas Jackson. If they were to pick up a yellow card this afternoon, they would miss the game at Ipswich on Monday. The ball is chipped towards Jackson, out from Tosin, but won by Diop inside the centre circle. Here's Joachim Andersen to Bassi. Fulham was so vibrant at the start of the first half. They did start to give the ball away a bit cheaply and with too much regularity, I'd imagine, for Marco Silva's like after Palmer opened the scoring. Here comes Jackson down the left-hand side. He's got Sancho up in support. Sancho on the edge of the area. Palmer's made a run into the box. Sancho couldn't find him first time round, but he's got the ball back, the Manchester United loanee. Fulham with plenty of white shirts camped on the edge of their own penalty area to our right. Here's Sancho again, dancing away from Lukic initially and Joachim Andersen, and then pinging the ball into the feet of Fernandes. Here's Malagusto forward in support, but Fulham did well there just to keep their shape and force Chelsea back to halfway. 1-0 to the home side. We played nearly 4 minutes in the second half. Here's Marc Cucurella coming forward into Fernandes. Space to shoot on the edge of the area. That would have been another spectacular Chelsea goal. It was curling at pace towards the top corner. It's a brilliant one-handed save by Leno.
Well, I think you're right. I think that's a world-class save. A lot of the time you are, what a good save, what a great save. This is a proper save. Good football. They played, a lot of intricate passes, and when it comes to Fernandes on his right foot, he's hit that with power, precision. It's going top corner, and it's an unbelievable save with his left hand. How he's got over the bar, I do not know. That's going top corner.
Championship goal at Ashton Gate. Bristol City 1, Luton 0. Scott Twine has broken the deadlock there, and Walsall lead Doncaster 1-0 in League One. Chelsea had the first corner of the second half. It's played in towards the near post, but didn't beat the first Fulham man. Sancho has another go, and again it's cleared. Or Fernandes to Palmer. Palmer with a great ball in. Colwell's header, and Chelsea double their lead. And the flag is up on this near side, and Levi Colwell's celebrations cut short.
Oh, was it handball? I'll tell you what, it was a wonderful ball played in by that man Palmer again. I just think the quality of it, he picks it out.
Well, they are checking it. Offside was the decision, but VAR are having a look at that. Brilliant ball in, as Alvin said. I think Leno maybe could have done better, almost carried the ball into the net.
I think I don't know if it's handball. It wasn't a handball. It's obviously they're checking for for an offside, but it's been given offside.
So it stays 1-0 to Chelsea. Just confirmation on the PA system, letting the fans inside the stadium know that Levi Colwell was adjudged to have been in an offside position. It'll be interesting to see a replay of it.
I tell you, it was quick, wasn't it? Sometimes we have a delay on them. Alex, credit to them. They've come with that decision quick, and you would have thought they've got to get that right.
It would have been only Levi Colwell's second ever Premier League goal at Stamford Bridge, but wasn't given.
Oh yeah, you can see it just come up on the screen there. I tell you, what a ball in by Palmer though.
Cole Palmer certainly grabbing the headlines again this afternoon. We played 6 minutes in the second half. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Chelsea a goal to the good. It's Nicholas Jackson, who's been starved of service actually at times. Wins it on the edge of the penalty area. Gets it back from Palmer inside the box, and I'm not sure what he was attempting there, Nicholas Jackson. I don't think he was going for goal. Just looking to toe poke the cross to the far stick. Neto was coming in, but it had far too much pace on it, and Fulham have a goal kick out of it.
Well, Fernandes is letting him know that he chose the wrong option there.
I'm not sure what option he chose.
In a pretty forceful manner. It was Palmer again. We keep mentioning him, don't we? But he just threaded that ball through. It was one of them balls, only a little 10-yard ball inside the penalty area, but it had to have perfect weight on it, which it did, obviously.
Goals have been hard to come by for Fulham in this fixture. They've only scored 4 times in the last 12 Premier League meetings. They need at least one if they're to get something from this game. They trail 1-0. Pereira looking to pick out Castagna on the right hand side. He does well, the Belgian, to keep the ball in play. Pereira felt he was fouled, but the referee says play on, and it's still with Castagna on that far side of the field. Forward to Traore, and Traore skips away from Cucurella into the box, finds Iwobi. Iwobi shoots right footed, and that's only just over the top of the bar.
Oh, nice football. Lovely football down that right-hand side. He said they've been really good down the left-hand side, Fulham, but this was on the right-hand side, which they need to open up. There's Traore one-on-one with Cucurella. He cuts inside on the edge of the box and then plays the ball to Iwobi. He stops it with his left foot and then just shifts it quickly to his right and trying to find that top corner. And you can tell by Sanchez, as he's diving, he thinks that's close, and it was.
Bradford 1, Port Vale 1. Antoine Hackford has equalised for Darren Moore's side in League 2, and Burnley double their lead at Sheffield United. 2-0 to the Clarets. Oxford also lead Cardiff by the same scoreline in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday have a goal back against Middlesbrough, 3-1 to the hosts in that one. Goals flying in up and down the country on this incredible day of sport. There's something like 70 horse races today as well. That's what Boxing Day is all about, including the King George at Kempton, run by Banbridge, for those of you who are interested. Here is Lukic, just inside the Fulham half. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. As the Fulham fans serenade Timothy Castagna. They've been in good voice all afternoon, to be fair. Not had far to come.
Been a great atmosphere, it really has. I think, you know, it's always decent here, I think, at the bridge, but I think, you know, obviously this game has that little bit more, doesn't it?
Second Oxford goal, home to Cardiff, scored by Kieran Brown. Oxford now managed by Gary Rowett, having maybe harshly parted company with Des Buckingham, the promotion-winning manager from last season. Here's Robinson with a cross into the area, only cleared as far as Pereira. Castagna trying to make those fans sing his name again. His cross is blocked by Cucurella, but one back by Adama Traore. Such a powerful specimen, Traore. Good ball into the area, but over the head of everybody in white. Bassi keeps it alive, and then Fernandez snaps in an tackle. He celebrates himself having won the challenge, and the ball cannons off Bassi and out for a goal kick. That was a no-hold-barred challenge from both players.
Yeah, well, it's a good spell for Fulham. They really are trying to take the game to Chelsea. Not easy, they're 1-0 down, Fulham, and trying to take the game to Chelsea. You always risk a counter, and 2-0, you think the game will be beyond them at 2-0, but you know, they are getting in really good positions that just haven't been able to find that final ball or the execution of a finish up to them.
You're listening to Chelsea against Fulham on TalkSport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on Now. Search Now Sports, as well as all the live football today. 2 games for you tomorrow, 7:30 here on TalkSport 2. Up at the Amex as Brighton, in need of a win, take on Brentford, who don't travel well. 8:15 on TalkSport. Arsenal, with no Bukayo Saka in their ranks, at home to Ipswich. That will complete our run of all 10 Boxing Day fixtures live on the TalkSport network. Over on TalkSport right now, it's still Forest 1, Spurs 0, and on the app, Southampton 0, West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0, and still Newcastle lead at home by a goal to 0 against 10-man Aston Villa. Here's Sancho winning the ball back deep inside the Chelsea half, and they can counter here because Fulham have committed bodies forward. Palmer to Enzo Fernandez. Ball was slightly behind him, and that allows Fulham to get numbers back and clear it away. It's with Robinson, the left wing back, now Iwobi. Back to Sasa Lukic. Fulham fans trying to urge their team on here. They trail 1-0. We've played 12 minutes in the second half. Marcus Rashford once again left out by Manchester United. They're at home to, they go to Wolves later, live on TalkSport. It's a 5:30 kickoff. No Rashford again for United. Ball dinked forward by Diop, looking for the run of Castagna. Across comes Cucurella, and he concedes a throw, and just building up a bit of momentum there, aren't they, Fulham?
Yeah, there's a few nerves around Stamford Bridge, and they've certainly going to have to be at their very best to hold on to 3 points here, Chelsea, because they're starting to come more and more. Fulham take more and more possession in good areas.
And they do usually concede, Chelsea. Iwobi, little ball to the far post, good header away by Colwell, important one, facing his own goal, picked up by Sancho in the left back position. He's done brilliantly to wriggle away from Castagna and then pokes it forward to Cole Palmer. Jackson straight into an offside position. That's really intelligent from Cole Palmer, just keeping the ball, turned back into his own half. He knew that Jackson had gone early.
I think Jackson was annoyed, but I think you're absolutely spot on. He'd just gone a quarter of a yard off, and he just knew straight away, Palmer. Very intelligent.
Caicedo with space to run into on the halfway line. Plays a 50-yard diagonal ball to Sancho. Cucurella's up in support. Sancho into the box. Good cross, is it? No. Cleared by Joachim Andersen. And then plucked from the air by Caicedo. And he tried to arrow the ball into Pedro Neto. Didn't find him. And Robinson will come racing away for Fulham. Couldn't find the switch to Traore. And then Sanchez comes sliding out under pressure from Jimenez. And Chelsea have the ball inside their own box.
I tell you, they're being stretched, aren't they, here, Chelsea? They're certainly, they'll know they're in a game. They're desperate to kill the game off and score a goal, because they know this Fulham side are going to keep coming at them.
59 gone. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 here at Stamford Bridge. Pedro Neto into Gusto for Chelsea. Raiding down the right, but sharply won back by Lukic, and then Iwobi knocks the ball away from Fernandes, who knew he couldn't dive in. Pedro Neto does dive in, and he's going to get a yellow card for his troubles. And a free kick for Fulham right on the edge of the area.
Well, Alex, I just they're being stretched here, Chelsea. They're having to put everything into. Whenever they turn the ball over, Fulham are really good at getting the ball forward into areas where they've got support. And Iwobi is a perfect example of that. They've got pace with him. They've got Traore on the right. Whenever the ball's turned over, the space in behind, they've got the physical ability and the pace to utilise it. And Chelsea are at this moment of time, I think, in control to a certain degree, but they're having to put their bodies on the line to stop Fulham, getting a goal back in this, which you wouldn't back against at the moment.
James Tilley has equalised for AFC Wimbledon at home to Swindon in League 2. 1-1 there. AFC Fylde 1, Rochdale 2. Harvey Gilmore has put the visitors in front, and Watford level against Portsmouth in the Championship. Kayembe from the penalty spot. 1-1 there. The Sheffield Wednesday get another goal back against Middlesbrough. Josh Windass, they were 3-0 down. It's now 3-2 in the Championship. Here comes the free kick for Fulham. Brilliant away support to our left. Pereira stands over it, curls it right-footed, trying to deceive Sanchez at the near post, but in the end just put it straight into the goalkeeper's gloves, Alvin.
Yeah, I think if they try to get it bouncing in front of Sanchez, he'd read it already. He had his ball perfectly lined up. We were right behind that. 1-0
to Chelsea, hour gone. Sancho carrying the fight to Fulham over on the left-hand side, but again they're well organised, Marco Silva's men. And that means Chelsea have to go all the way back to Tosin inside the centre circle. Gusto into Tosin once more, but still inside the Chelsea half. Now it's the Chelsea fans offering their vocal encouragement. As Alvin said, a rip-roaring atmosphere on Boxing Day, and almost a mistake by Sanchez as he played it out to Tosin on the edge of the area. Jimenez was only a fraction away from getting in there and having a shot on goal. We'll get team news from Molineux very shortly. Manchester United in town. That game live on Talk Sport. In fact, we can get it now because Chelsea have a throw inside their own half. Here's your commentator, Joe Shannon.
Euro and Højlund replace Malacia and Xerxes. Once again, Marcus Rashford is not in the Manchester United squad. For Wolves, Aït-Nouri replaces Rodrigo Gomez after a ban. Cunha starts.
Cheers, Joe. That game live on Talk Sport at 5:30. Scott Minto will be amongst the commentary team. Only 2 changes for Manchester United. It's usually half a dozen under Ruben Amorim. As Morecambe lead at Carlisle. 1-0 there. 1-0 to Chelsea here at Stamford Bridge. Next goal, you feel absolutely pivotal to the outcome. And for all their pressure for them both at the start of the first half and at times in this second half, they haven't really tested Sanchez enough. That may change though, as Pereira comes forward over halfway, finds Traore. Traore with a cross over Jimenez's head. It's Robinson! Big chance for Anthony Robinson, and it's been saved by Sanchez. Robinson 6 yards out, right-footed. That conviction really, and Sanchez just spread himself and made the stop.
Well, what a game we've got here, and what brilliant football. Fulham really. He's got to do better there, Robinson. He's been outstanding this afternoon. He's got his hands on his head. He knows he's got to do better. He tries to control the ball, and really all he's got to do is hit that first time. Hit it first time, hard low, it beats Sanchez. He won't have a chance. Right, by the time he brings it down, Sanchez does a really good goalkeeping job on him. He comes out, narrows the angle, makes it really difficult for him, but it's a great bit of football, great delivery from Traore, you know, and really they should be 1-1.
Alexander Isak can't stop scoring. He's on the score sheet again at St James's Park. This game live on the TalkSport app. It's Newcastle 2, 10-man Aston Villa 0, and West Ham down to 10 at Southampton. Guido Rodriguez has been sent off. It's goalless. That game also on the TalkSport app. What an opportunity for Ivan Juric, the new man in charge of Southampton, to make a winning start here at Stamford Bridge. Sanchez and Jimenez both in need of treatment. I think they collided after Sanchez had made the save from Robinson. Both are on their feet and play will restart. Chelsea lead 1-0.
He's still shaking his head, Robinson. He knows that's a gilt-edged chance, a golden opportunity. And who's to say they don't deserve it? I mean, they've hung in there, got a goal down to a moment of brilliance from Van Palmer. They put Chelsea one up in the first half, but you know what? They've been excellent throughout. There's really not been too much between the two sides, apart from that moment of clash.
Chelsea go to Ipswich on Monday. Fulham at home to Bournemouth on Sunday afternoon. You've got to keep up to date with that game on the Sunday session on TalkSport. Game's coming thick and fast as Pedro Neto races forward down the right for Chelsea. Forced a little wide by the pass, but he's still got it down by the corner flag. Pedro Neto, the Portuguese international. He's going to go all the way back to the halfway line, and Tosin to groans of frustration from some inside Stamford Bridge. These are the type of games, though, aren't they, that title contenders, and all that Enzo Maresco will admit it, need to see out against a stubborn opponent who have quality on the counter. 1-0 is a tenuous lead. Palmer with a little flick to Nicholas Jackson, gets there ahead of Diop. He did well, actually, because it wasn't the best execution by Palmer. Colwell out to Sancho. Sancho running at Castagna, comes in field, then finds Palmer on the edge of the area, but, well, intercepted by Diop. Good ball out to his left-hand side to Alex Iwobi. Robinson's on his travels again ahead of him. Knows he's been in the game, doesn't he, Malo Gusto, the Chelsea right-back. And here is Iwobi, deep inside Fulham territory. Harry Wilson, who's made an impact off the bench a couple of times this season, is about to come on for Adama Traore. Sheffield Wednesday from 3-0 down. It's now 3-3 at Middlesbrough. Jan Valery. Apparently he was celebrating with his teammates and he said, "Why don't you come on over, Valery?" 3-3 there. And it's Coventry 4, Plymouth 0. Wayne Rooney having a nightmare Boxing Day. Chelsea still lead here 1-0. Fulham in possession with Diop just inside the home half of the field. 66 on the clock. They've huffed and they've puffed Fulham, but they haven't quite been able to blow the Chelsea house down as yet. Iwobi forward to Lukic. Caicedo slides in and wins it well for Chelsea. And then Fernandes forward to Jackson. Up against Joachim Andersen. Comes in field on the Dane. Jackson still has the ball. Good feet from him. The shot, though, was tame in the end. And just trying to lift it over Leno. He lifted it into the goalkeeper's gloves, Nicholas Jackson.
Well, it was a great run, wasn't it, really, up to the end bit where he didn't get the execution of the finish right, but he had Anderson to and fro there, cut inside, outside. The ball eventually ended up on his left foot from 17 yards out, and he was trying to pick out the top corner. Couldn't actually do that, but you know, this was a difficult game coming into it, and I'm sure he said last week, Maresca, that the Everton game worried them a little bit. I'm sure this will be a game that would have worried them. They're 1-0 up, and they've got to see it out, and I'm sure if they can win this game 1-0, he'll think it's a big win for them, because this is a Fulham side who I think now, especially away from home, they really come and make things difficult for you, and they've always got that attacking threat. Have they got the finishers? You know, that's the one thing that he'll want to put right. I think whatever happens this season, he'll know he's got a team here, Silva, but has he got somebody right at the point of the team that's going to come up with the finishers? And it's a big part, a big department that you need to sort out.
Birmingham 2 up now against Burton Albion. Max Crocombe own goal. They need a helping hand, don't they, Birmingham, with all their riches in that division. Norwich 2, Millwall 1. SA has got a goal back for Millwall, so game on at Carrow Road. Game on here as well. We've still got a quarter of the match to play, and it's only 1-0 to Chelsea. Wilson is on, by the way, for Traore. Robinson crosses to the far post, over the head of Jimenez. Castagna will keep the visitors on the front foot. Pereira with a little dink into the area, helped on towards Jimenez. He's off balance around about 14 yards out, and he just volleyed it high over the crossbar. Maybe could have let it drop, Alvin.
Yeah, a little bit difficult. I don't think he was expecting it to come to him, but I think when it did bounce on the half volley there, I think he just flashed a foot at it and hoped for the best, didn't he?
Harry Wilson, the Welsh international, has scored 3 goals from the bench this season, 2 of them in that incredible late victory that Fulham had earlier in the campaign, live on TalkSport on a Monday night. Can he make a similar impact here on this West London derby? Whereas currently Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 for the latest odds. Head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage. Right now Chelsea 1-5 to win, Fulham out to 20-1. The draw is 24-5. That's all thanks to William Hill, 18+. BeGambleAware.org. And Wilson there trying to make a nuisance of himself as Fulham just launched the ball upfield, and he couldn't quite get there ahead of Sanchez. Well, I said West Ham being down to 10 men might help Southampton. It hasn't. Jarrod Bowen has put the 10 men in front. Southampton 0, West Ham 1. I mean, they're down, aren't they? Southampton, to be honest. We're not even in January yet. Long ball forward by Chelsea. Pedro Neto gets there ahead of Bassett. Pretty big man handled. Pedro Neto. Assistant referee had a very clear view, says play on. Neto looking to make some space for the cross from this right-hand side, left footed towards the far post. Headed away by Castagna with Sancho lurking. Now Caicedo, the Ecuadorian, finds Palmer, the goal scorer. Left corner of the 18-yard box. Palmer back to Colwill. And again, credit to Fulham. It's a number of times in this second half that Chelsea have looked to be in a promising position. They've had to play it back to halfway.
This is a well-drilled Fulham side, no doubt about it. I think they've got the tactics right. They know the time to sit back and defend in numbers, and they also know the time to support and break. And they've got the equation between the two absolutely perfectly today.
Looks like Christopher Nkunku is about to come on for Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson will make way, we're told. Well, had too many opportunities, Jackson, to add to the 9 goals he scored in the Premier League this season as Palmer is swept off his feet by Pereira. And a free kick here maybe within shooting range for Chelsea. Certainly Palmer and Fernandes will be salivating at that prospect. I think Fulham are going to go to their bench again. Double change in the offing. Rodrigo Muniz and Tom Kearney, the club captain, are being readied. But not before this Chelsea free kick will be taken. With 71 minutes on the clock. TalkSport 2 live from Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Elsewhere in the Premier League, you've heard West Ham, despite being down to 10 men, lead 1-0 at Southampton. Jarrod Bowen with the goal. It's Cole Palmer. Plays in the free kick. Good header away by Diop. Got there ahead of Tosin. Newcastle 2-0 up at home to Aston Villa. John Duran sent off for the visitors very early. Forest still lead Tottenham by that Anthony Elanga goal to 0. That's live on TalkSport right now. And it's Bournemouth 0, Palace 0. Did wonder if Bournemouth might have a bit of a come down after their heroics at Old Trafford at the weekend. And Fulham have got a player down over on the far side. Is that Cramp, Alvin?
No, I think that little clash, there's 2 of them down. Fernandes is down as well. I think they fell on each other really. I think one injured the other one. It was Wilson is the Fulham player down.
We do have a run of games coming up, Fulham, after this, when they'll be targeting positive results. I mentioned it's just 1 win in 6 before today. A lot of draws in that run. As the 2 players, Fernandes and Wilson, get back to their feet, we're going to see these changes. And Nkunku for Jackson, certainly for Chelsea. He's got a lot of goals this season, 12. Nkunku is actually their leading goal scorer, but Only 2 of them have been in the Premier League. A lot of goals in the Conference League, in particular Chelsea comfortably into the last 16 in that competition. What did you make of Nicholas Jackson's performance?
Look, I think he's somebody that gives him that penetration in behind. His link-up play's been good. He hasn't had his best game. And I think sometimes the build-up maybe hasn't been through the middle. Palmer is central to everything, so everything goes through Palmer. 1 or 2 balls from Palmer just haven't got through to him. But he's played on the outskirts of the game this afternoon, Alex. You know, you expect more impact from him. Look, I think he's up against a back 3 really, and it's been difficult for him to play up against it because you're outnumbered.
Brilliant ovation for Tom Kearney as he comes on for Fulham to replace Pereira in midfield, and Rodrigo Muniz is on for Jimenez as the focal point of the attack. He was their leading goal scorer for Fulham last season, Muniz, with 10 goals. Only 2 this, did score recently in the 2-2 draw against Liverpool at Anfield. But no change in system. I think for Jimenez, he had a couple of half chances, but was largely starved of service.
Yeah. Look, we alluded to it before the game. The lack of goals in the Fulham team is evident. You know, you haven't got somebody who you think is going to come up with 1 in 3. The top goal scorers, and what is he? Wolves is the top goal scorer. You know, they haven't got a forward who you feel that is going to cause Premier League defences problems in terms of his finishing.
Goals going in elsewhere. Reading 3, Northampton 0 now in League One. Noel Hunt in charge of Reading following the departure of Ruben Sayers to Hull. A couple of weeks ago, Grimsby 2 up on Harrogate. Bromley have got a 4th at home to Newport. They lead 4-0. And it's Exeter 1, Bristol Rovers 1. Bristol Rovers who've changed managers over the last few days as well. We'll get the team news from Derby against West Brom now. That'll be live on TalkSport 2. Once we're finished here, your match commentators, Ian Danta.
Thanks, Alex. 2 changes for Derby County from that last gasp defeat they had at Luton. Harness and Mendes Lang coming in. Bradley and Osborne make way. Just 1 change for managerless West Brom. Chris Brunt taking temporary charge today. Ratchich comes in for Malumbi in midfield. It's live on TalkSport 2 at 5:30. Derby County against West Bromwich Albion.
Here at Stamford Bridge, 15 minutes to go. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Cole Palmer's goal in the 16th minute after a majestic, mazy run and sharp finish into the bottom corner. Still dividing the 2 West London neighbours. Fulham have had their moments. Robert Sanchez hasn't yet been called into action really in this second half. Had a good save from Bassi in the first half as Alex Iwobi is upended, so a free kick for Fulham 15 yards inside Chelsea territory.
Well, coming into the last stage of the game, for the last 15 minutes, Alex, there will come a time, I think, where they start to protect the 1-goal lead. Chelsea, they think, OK, we're not going to take unnecessary chances, we're going to sit a little bit deeper, and the initiative might turn.
Here's Harry Wilson, no volley on the edge of the area. Well, it would have been spectacular. In the end, the ball ends up nearer the corner flag than the back of Sanchez's net, but it was a sighter for Wilson. I think this is the type of game that Enzo Maresca feels the likes of Liverpool are more capable of seeing out than his Chelsea team. He was frustrated, wasn't he, even in victory here against Brentford recently in another derby when they conceded late on. He said that's why we're not yet ready to mount a title challenge.
Yeah. Look, if this was Fulham versus Liverpool, look, they've gone to Anfield and got a point from them, so let's get it in perspective there. At Tottenham away, they got a point in Arsenal. So that they're playing the top teams and they make it difficult for them. So you would have expected this to be a tough game.
Here's Iwobi, just inside the Chelsea half. He's got Gusto and Fernandes for
Favourite Christopher and Cooper then, because Anderson made a real muddle of that.
Terrible ball to Joachim Anderson. It was Castagna who played it blind.
Robinson. Iwobi. Got away from Pedro Neto. Robinson. It's another delightful ball in. Here's Wilson. Fulham level through Harry Wilson. The Welsh international comes to Fulham's aid again. 2 goals off the bench against Brentford, and now the leveller at Stamford Bridge.
They pushed hard second half. Fulham to try and find an equaliser. Chelsea not happy. I think there was a foul on Pedro Neto, and then they were claiming an offside on Harry Wilson. They keep it alive. Anthony Robinson has just made so many runs down that left-hand channel. He's kept going, delivered across to that far post, Castagna's header, and Harry Wilson off the bench again to find the back of the net. Won't get many easier goals, will he? 2 or 3 yards out, nods it in off the post. Pedro Neto still down, Chelsea still arguing their case.
While Harry Wilson and Marco Silva celebrate a Fulham equaliser, Chelsea are incensed. The goal will stand. Pedro Neto stepped in front of...
Left-hand side, Iwobi and Robinson have been brilliant all afternoon.
Yeah, it was a great ball in by Iwobi, but a really clever header at the far post as well. That was Robinson with a cross, headed down towards Wilson. It was Castagna who nodded it across the 6-yard box, and Wilson knocks it beyond Sanchez. I said to you, Alvin, that Chelsea, they do concede.
Yeah, well, look, I'm worried for Fulham that they didn't have the ability to finish off some really good football they played this afternoon. But it got to a stage where Chelsea were 1-0 up, and you've got sort of just over 12 minutes to go, and you think, right, do we protect what we've got without taking too many chances? Keep possession. They went for that. They kept possession. They didn't really take any chances, but Fulham were forced to take chances, and now they've taken one and 1-1. What a game! What are the last few minutes we're going to get here?
7 minutes to play. Have Chelsea got it within them to go and get the second goal and claim the 3 points? Pedro Neto, having been taken off the pitch for treatment, is about to come back on. Another inspired change from Marco Silva. Harry Wilson having such an impact off the bench, and he's done it again. As Newcastle get a third at home to 10-man Aston Villa. Bruno Guimaraes completing a good day for Eddie Howe's side. Here at Stamford Bridge, it's Fulham voices that fill the air. 2 wins, remember, in more than 30 previous Premier League meetings for Fulham. This will feel like a victory if they can see it out, having equalised so late on. Cole Palmer putting Chelsea in front on 16 minutes. Wilson with 9 minutes to go, levelling up. Here come Chelsea though. There was a little coming together with Iwobi and Caicedo. Again, the referee plays advantage. Here's Palmer on the edge of the area, into Caicedo. Sancho with a cross, decent looking delivery, but over the head of Fernandez, and it swirls behind for a goal kick that's celebrated by those fans to our left.
But can they turn? Can they turn again? Can they pull something out of the bag? And we're talking about people who are realistic title challengers. You know, a real title challenger wins a game like this, a really tight game like this, and maybe in the final minute. And maybe they're going to have to do that, Chelsea.
That Bruno Guimaraes goal has been chalked out for handball. Still 2-0 to Newcastle. Celtic got a fourth. They lead by 4 goals to 0. Celtic against Motherwell, and it's Reading 4, Northampton 1. Well, it'll be a disappointing festive period, wouldn't it, for Chelsea? Drew at Everton last time out, being held here, and all of a sudden, from being in a position where it looked like they were going to go to within a point of the leaders Liverpool, they're going to be 3 points behind, having played 2 games more. Liverpool in action, live on TalkSport at 8 o'clock tonight. They take on Leicester, and you would expect them to win. Cole Palmer wrestled to the ground by Sasa Lukic, and he's already been booked, Lukic. That's probably a yellow card offence, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what he was asking there, Palmer. He knows that.
Got to say, I think the referee Sam Barras had an excellent afternoon. We're quick to criticise officials when they get decisions wrong. He's got most things right, I think, over the course of the 87 minutes. 1-1 the score. Colwill into Nkunku, gives it away. Bassi winning it back, dancing away from Nkunku. Leno clears it high up into the Stamford Bridge sky. And then Muniz wins it back well and looks to release Harry Wilson, who was off on his travels. Colwill had to get there. What an excellent game we've had on TalkSport too.
Alex, is brilliant. But look at now, Chelsea have thrown everything they've got and thrown people forward into really adventurous areas. But they've got to respect this Fulham side, because they won't settle for 1-1. If they think there's a chance of nicking it 2-1 Fulham, they'll go for it.
Sancho plays it down the line to Cucurella. His cross blocked by Diop. And it will be swept clear by Lukic. Kearney, the captain, nods it forward. Wilson looking to release Muniz, and he might, and he's flicked it onto Iwobi, and Sanchez has to get there, a long way off his line, but he did get there. Anderson urged to shoot by the Fulham fans from inside his own half. Sensibly doesn't do that, plays it forward, and it's cleared by Gusto. This game could still go either way.
That's right, and that's an example of it. We've just seen Sanchez. He got a really high starting line there. He was 5-10 yards outside the edge of his box. If he hadn't have been, I think Fulham go through 1-on-1 there.
You're listening to Chelsea against Fulham on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. There are thousands of people crammed inside Stamford Bridge on this Boxing Day, and nobody is leaving early. It's 1-1, and we're into the 89th minute of the game. Here's Calvin Bassi, who I think has been really good for Fulham over the course of the 89 minutes.
There's been a lot of players in white shirts who've been good this afternoon. Look, and blue as well. I think, there's not many players out there that haven't been 8 out of 10, for both sides.
Harry Wilson off the bench with the equaliser with 8 minutes of normal time to play after Cole Palmer with a goal that deserved to win the game and open the scoring after 16 minutes in the first half. Iwobi and Robinson linking up again. Cleared away by Tosin. I wonder if someone might try and prize Robinson away in January. A couple of teams who could do with their left back at the top end of the table. Free kick won by Caicedo, taken quickly forward to Nkunku. Pedro Neto, chance to cross into the area. Cucurella arrives, hits a defender. Sancho with a shot, brilliant save by Leno. Great reactions from the Fulham goalkeeper. Chelsea so close to retaking the lead. In the end, they have to settle for a corner.
What have Chelsea got to do to get a second goal? It's incredible, that.
Well, Sancho's eyes must have lit up as the initial effort from Cucurella hit a Fulham defender, came back to him, couldn't squeeze it in. Palmer with a cross from the short corner. Cleared as far as Sancho, flicked up on the edge of the area, but given away. Wilson forward to Iwobi. He's all alone inside the Chelsea half. Iwobi in the right wing position. He knocks it away from Cucurella. He's got Muniz in the centre. Well defended by Gusto. We're going to get 6 more minutes of this brilliant game. 6 added minutes at the end of the 90 on TalkSport 2. Chelsea 1, Fulham 1 at Stamford Bridge. And it is end-to-end stuff. It's like a basketball game on Boxing Day.
Great.
Foul by Robinson on Pedro Neto. He's going to get a yellow card, the Fulham fullback.
A brave man to bet on this one. Palmer's getting frustrated. He's pushing the referee out the way while he's booking a player. But look, you can see the frustration around Stamford Bridge. To our left, the Fulham fans are there. I think they'd settle for the draw, the Fulham fans. I'm not sure the Chelsea fans would.
Blackburn have got a late equaliser at home to Sunderland in the Championship. 2-2. Harry Leonard has scored there, and Stephen Fletcher from the penalty spot may well have won it for Wrexham in League One. They lead Blackpool by 2-1, and Plymouth 4-0 down away from home at Coventry have had Callum Wright sent off at the end of that game. Here at Stamford Bridge it's still deadlocked at 1-1, but Neto's knocked the ball around Bassi, and he's racing into the Fulham area, shoots left-footed. It deflects out to Sancho. Sancho inside the area. Can he make space for a shot? Pulls it back for Cucurella inside the box, but well defended by Fulham again. Sancho running at Castagna, and he knocks it out of play for a goal kick, and that was excellent rearguard action from the visitors in the 92nd minute at Stamford Bridge.
So I've got to pick a man of the match at the end of this, haven't I, Alex? I'll tell you what, there's a few contenders. It's been a really great game of football to watch. It's probably exceeded my expectations. I was expecting a good game, but 1-1, it can still go either way. It's been fantastic. There's so many good individual performances out there.
Ryan Sessegnon is coming on for Alex Iwobi, who gets a standing ovation. Iwobi,
that's the best game I've seen in
Fulham hordes.
He's been outstanding. I mean, he's covered every blade of grass. That's the reason he's being taken off, because he can't have any more left in the tank. And as he's come off, Silva's gone straight over to him, give him a high five. He's been brilliant.
And they deserve a share of the spoils, don't they, over the course of the piece, Fulham?
Absolutely. We question whether they had a goal in them. Well, they found the goal, and you've got to give the coach, the manager, a lot of credit for that. Substitutions. Man, he's a decent person to bring on Andy Wilson. His goal scoring. Maybe he doesn't want it to happen from coming on as a sub, but certainly the manager believes that he has got a goal in him at the right time, so he's proved it.
Lachie Anderson just caught underneath the ball on the edge of the Fulham area. Chelsea, as a result of that, had possession high up the pitch. Colwill forward to Palmer, couldn't find him. Oh, and that's a no-look pass from Sasa Lukic out to his right. He's given it straight back.
Is there a twist? Is there a twist in this?
Well, we've still got another 4 minutes to play, and we have stoppage time. 1-1 on TalkSport 2. Robinson surging forward for Fulham, and he's got players over. One of them is Wilson. He tries to cushion it down inside the box. Blocked by Colwill before it could reach Muniz. Here's Castagna now, right-hand side for Fulham. Suddenly it's Chelsea having to defend. Fulham have got every outfield player inside the Chelsea half of the field.
Well, they're not settling for a 1-1, are they, Fulham?
Certainly not. Here's Bassi, the former Rangers man, into Robinson. Sessegnon should be full of running, but he's been out-muscled by Malagusto inside the Chelsea half. Chelsea fans frustrated. They didn't just launch the ball forward. Still trying to play this patient possession football. Marco Silva frustrated that Sessegnon wasn't given a free kick, and he's just making that point to the fourth official. Exceptional game here at the bridge. 1-1, and Fernandez has hammered a pass forward against Muniz, and the ricochet means that Sanchez has to come a long way off his line to clear, and he only picked out Castagna with a clearance. It wasn't great football. Could be great for Fulham, because they're coming forward, and it's Muniz, and he's won it. Rodrigo Muniz in the 95th minute at Stamford Bridge is mobbed by his teammates. How have Chelsea lost this game? They were 1-0 up with 8 minutes of normal time to play, but Muniz makes it Chelsea 1, Fulham 2.
Unbelievable. What are we witnessing here? This has been a great game, but what a great finish. All right, maybe not from a Blue point of view, but from a Fulham point of view, absolutely wonderful. And he deserved it. They go 1-1. They don't decide to hang on to 1-1. They keep pushing. All right, Chelsea, you can come at us, but you know what? We're going to go at you. And they deserve that. What a finish.
45 years since Fulham won at Stamford Bridge. They are seconds away from ending that long wait. And it's the two substitutes, Wilson and Muniz, who look to have won the day for Marco Silva's men. And it's a hammer blow to Chelsea's title ambitions. It all came from that poor ball upfield by Sanchez. All of a sudden, it was 3 against 1 on the edge of the area. But what calmness from Muniz when all those Fulham fans were losing their heads behind the goal. He kept his, and he just steers his shot beyond Sanchez and into the far corner. It's a great finish.
Well, in a moment when you need calmness, when you need to be clinical, precise, he just executed everything perfectly. Oh, I can't get over what a great game it's been. You know, sometimes you can see games 4-3, 3-5, whatever it may be, but this has been a high quality, deeply interesting game from the moment it started, Alex.
And this is why the Premier League is so compelling. I mentioned it earlier, the competitiveness from those teams that normally you wouldn't associate with pushing for European football. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, who are winning again today, and now Fulham. They've come to Stamford Bridge, they've gone a goal down, they've left it late, but it looks like they've taken all 3 points from the 97th minute. Palmer with a cross into the area, it should be 2-2, and Kunku on the volley, brilliantly saved by Leno. That's the second great save he's made this half.
I said it was a twist in the tail early on. How many twists in the tail can you get? Great save.
It's finished at the City Ground, by the way. Tottenham beaten again under Ange Postecoglou. 1-0 there. 2-1 to Fulham here at Stamford Bridge. And we've played the 97 minutes. As a Chelsea corner is clear, Palmer's been upended. It's going to be a free kick. This might be the last roll of the dice for Chelsea, Alvin.
Unbelievable. You know, Palmer really is, it's a shame, really. This is just a bit too Palmer to finish the game off. You wouldn't back against him. Another 5 yards forward. But this one, he's just going to have to put it in the box. He's going to have to place it, you know, around the penalty spot and hope that he gets the run right.
I think Robert Sanchez wants to come up for this. He's on the halfway line. He's not going any further at the moment. Palmer stands over the ball, puts his right arm in the air, chips it into the area towards Colwill. Headed half away by Bassi. Neto nods it back down inside the box. Diop gets something on it. Still not clear yet. Palmer's going to shoot from a mile out. He's going to shoot wide. And Fulham, for the first time in 45 years, have won at Stamford Bridge. And they've done it with 2 goals in the last 8 minutes plus stoppage time from their 2 super subs, Harry Wilson and Rodrigo Muniz, after Cole Palmer with a brilliant solo goal looked to have put Chelsea on course for a win that would take them to within a point of top. As it is, it's very much advantage Liverpool in the title race, but this is Fulham's day in West London. They have stormed Stamford Bridge, previously a fortress in this fixture for their near neighbours. It finishes Chelsea 1, Fulham 2.
What a fantastic game for Boxing Day that was. Alvin Martin, we discussed this before the game. We discussed what could happen if Fulham needed some magic off the bench. I think I said Harry Wilson and you said Rodrigo Muniz, so I'm pretty sure we called that one.
What we did call was